This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring former FBI Special Agent and Chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke.
With that Frank's hearing request, there's some new information that is being requested as well. Geofencing data. Apparently, there are there are 3 individuals that they have tracked at the time of the assumed murder of when this happened. That were in the location of the actual crime itself, none of which are Richard Allen. Who are those people? We don't know the answer to that question, but there actually is data that shows us who these people are. That is known behind the scenes. Why have we not talked to these people? Why are these people? I guess the question is also, who are these people? Are these people that we do know? Are these names of individuals who we've already kind of gone through and they've already written off as not being part of this? Maybe those folks that they conveniently lost the interviews of. It's all up for speculation right now because we just simply don't know the facts.
Yeah, absolutely. That geofencing data is so important in this. And the thing that keeps striking me with this, again, when you get a gut emotional reaction to something, I always ask myself, why? Why do I have that reaction? What I am observing in the backgrounds from past experiences that give me that reaction. And what strikes me with Richard Allen on this one is and we've talked about this, he does not have the typical, doesn't mean isn't an outlier, but he doesn't have the typical behavior and that life arc of someone who would have committed this crime. In other words, if he had just killed 2 girls, that's not for people that commit murder, especially of children, there's a lot of other behaviors that have led up to it. That they did, because remember, it happened 5 years prior to him being arrested, correct?
Yes.
So there would have been other things after that as well.
Yeah.
That they'd be able to draw upon that granted, we don't know what prosecution has right now, but if they can't demonstrate an arc of his life behaviors and how these 2 girls were not really an outlier from that life arc, it leaves you saying, well, why him?
Yeah.
Because that's what's really missing here. He doesn't have the typical, as the profilers say, the profile of someone that would commit this because it looks like an outlier in his life. Again, this is the subjective person standing back, knowing only what we know from social media and news, but this is a rough one for prosecution in my book, unless they can really open up a lot that we have no idea about.
My guess, and this is just my guess, is that once this does go to trial, the biggest thing they're going to try and hang their hat on is the confessions.
I agree.
That he made. But how do you argue that in court? I mean, there are false confessions. It happens very frequently. How do you argue that? How do you convince a jury that, look, this guy was under duress and he made these confessions? How does that work?
So I am nowhere near an attorney on these things, but what I would, for Robin as independent person, kind of looking at what I have as behaviors of my defendant, Richard Allen, I would actually play to the mental health issue.
Yeah.
I would play to depression. I would play to, not being in his right mind. I mean, who knows? But I think the fact that, we have, some granularity of knowledge of some mental health challenges that many people have, we can actually, I would, if I was defense, kind of hang my hat on, hey, in a moment of sadness, in a moment of depression, he's hypothesizing, he's doing X, Y, and Z, when it comes to the sadness that it induced in, a memory from childhood, a childhood trauma it triggered. I mean, there's a lot of things I think defense can do with one, if that's their only data point that prosecution has, that is one data point alone. And when you can tie it to a mental health challenge, and then you have a life behavior arc that is inconsistent with murdering 2 children. I mean, that's the route I would go.
Yeah. Again, and none of it is consistent with his behavior. I mean, not that there's, it doesn't make a lot of sense. None of it makes sense. So it'll be very interesting to see where they try to go with this and what they try to argue, because I mean, either way, he's got the card. It's like he won at Monopoly. He got chance. He has the essentially get out of jail free card, or at least get a new trial card. at the very least, if he is found guilty. I know it's going to be interesting to see the outcome of this when it does go to trial, supposedly coming up here in May.
Agreed. And to Alan's credit, I think he's very fortunate. He seems to have a defense team that is equally as skeptical like you and I are about what's going on. And I think they're on his side. And it doesn't seem like, they're just appointed. These are people that are on his side, that believe in his innocence. And so that's what you want.
It is. They wouldn't have been sitting there fighting to be back on the trial if they were just like, we got kicked off of this one. I mean, these guys went pro bono and like, we're going to do whatever we need because we believe in this man's innocence.
Yeah. So then we go back to, if he is found innocent, who murdered those girls?
Who did it? Exactly.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.